King Felipe VI of Spain attends a football match in Sevilla. Royals from around the world attend the historic coronation in London. And King Charles III of the United Kingdom is crowned in an ancient ceremony dating back almost 1,000 years. All this and much more coming up next on your Royal Daily News. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Alexandra, and this is your Royal Daily News for May 7th, 2023. Yesterday morning in London, the historic coronation of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla of the United Kingdom took place at Westminster Abbey. The service, presided over by the Archbishop of Canterbury, the Most Reverend and Right Honourable Justin Welby, reflected His Majesty the King's role today and also, quote, look towards the future while being rooted in long-standing traditions and pageantry, end quote. According to Buckingham Palace, yesterday's magnificent coronation service centered around the liturgical theme of, quote, called to serve, end quote, and His Majesty the King's solemn vow and commitment to serve God and the people of the nations and the realms. Over 2,200 guests were invited to witness the ancient ritual, which dates back almost 1,000 years, filled with symbolism, such as the recognition, or calling of the corners, an ancient element of the coronation service in which the king is recognized as the true monarch. The recognition began the service in which His Majesty the King turned to each of the 4 points of the compass, north, south, east, and west, which is also known by many as calling of the corners. The sword of offering. The sword of offering symbolizes the protection of good and the punishment of evil, which was placed in the king's right hand. Other swords were used during the coronation, including the massive sword of state and the sword of temporal justice, the sword of spiritual justice, and the sword of mercy, which was first used in the coronation of King Charles I in 1626. The scepter with the cross and the scepter with the dove. The scepter with the cross is a symbol of power and justice, and the scepter with the dove is a symbol of equity and mercy, which were brought from the altar by the Primus of the Scottish Episcopal Church and the Archbishop of Wales, and placed in the king's right and left hands by the Archbishop of Canterbury. The presentation of the armills. The presentation of the armills are bracelets, which symbolizes sincerity, wisdom, knighthood, and military leadership, and the orb, symbolizing the Christian world. The coronation ring, a sapphire with ruby cross set in diamonds, was made for the coronation of King William IV in 1834. And the spurs. The anointing. The anointing is the most solemn and sacred part of the service, and it began as a choir sang George Friedrich Handel's Zadok the Priest, which was composed for the coronation of King George II in 1727. As the choir sings Zadok the Priest, the Archbishop of Canterbury, assisted by the Dean of Westminster and the Archbishop of York, anoint the king's hands, chest, and head. And the crowning. The crowning. The Dean of Westminster delivered St. Edward's crown to the Archbishop of Canterbury, who then blessed it before placing the crown on His Majesty the King. Then the Archbishop led the congregation of Westminster Abbey in saying, God save the King. Then the bells at the Abbey rang as gun salutes are fired in celebration on Horse Guards Parade, at His Majesty's Fortress, the Tower of London, and at saluting stations throughout the United Kingdom, Gibraltar, Bermuda, and His Majesty's ships at sea. Following the homage to the King, led by the Archbishop of Canterbury and His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, was a coronation of the Queen. Her Majesty knelt at the chair of the estate and was anointed on the head by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Then the Queen's ring was presented to Her Majesty by the Keeper of the Jewel House, and Her Majesty was then crowned by the Archbishop with Queen Mary's crown. Then the former Bishop of London and the Bishop of Dover presented Her Majesty the Queen with the Queen's scepter with the cross and the Queen's rod with the dove. Escorted by the Archbishops of Canterbury and York and the Bishops of Hereford and Norwich and the Queen's companions, Her Majesty the Queen was then enthroned. After the service, Their Majesties entered the Gold State Coach and returned to Buckingham Palace in a larger ceremonial procession known as the Coronation Procession. Upon returning, Their Majesties were received by a royal salute in the gardens at Buckingham Palace from the armed forces taking part in the procession. Thereafter, Their Majesties, along with members of the royal family, including their Royal Highnesses the Prince and Princess of Wales, His Royal Highness Prince George of Wales, Her Royal Highness Princess Charlotte of Wales, His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Wales, their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, the Earl of Wessex, Lady Louise Mountbatten Windsor, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal and Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra, the Honourable Lady Ogilvy, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, and their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, along with the pages of honour of their Majesties, appeared on the balcony at Buckingham Palace to wave to the hundreds of thousands of well-wishers who came out to see their new King and Queen. Guests attending yesterday's historic coronation included members of the British royal family, and I'm pretty sure you know who they are, but if you don't, well, here's your list. Their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Wales, His Royal Highness Prince George of Wales, Her Royal Highness Princess Charlotte of Wales, His Royal Highness Prince Louis of Wales, their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh, the Earl of Wessex, Lady Louise Mountbatten Windsor, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, the Duke of York, Her Royal Highness Princess Beatrice of York and her husband, Her Royal Highness Princess Eugenie of York and her husband, Her Royal Highness Princess Alexandra, the Honourable Lady Ogilvy, His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Gloucester, their Royal Highnesses Prince and Princess Michael of Kent, Mr. Mike Tyndall, Mrs. Zara Tyndall, Mr. Peter Phillips, Lady Sarah Chatto and her husband, Mr. Daniel Chatto, the Earl of Snowdon, Lady Margarita Armstrong-Jones, Lady Helen Taylor, Lady Gabriella Windsor, Kingston, Lord Friedrich Windsor, the Earl of Ulster, Lady Davina Windsor, Lady Rose Gillam, the Duke of Sussex. Foreign monarchs and heirs also attended the coronation service, including His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan of Abu Dhabi, the King of the Ashantis, Ntomfu Osei Tutu II, and Lady Julia Osei Tutu, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of Bahrain, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa of Bahrain, their Majesties King Philippe and Queen Mathilde of the Belgians, their Majesties King Jimne Kesar Namgyal Wangchuk and Queen Jetson of Bhutan, the Sultan of Brunei, His Royal Highness Prince Abdul Mateen of Brunei, Tsar Simeon and Tsarina Margarita of Bulgaria, their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Frederick and Crown Princess Mary of Denmark, His Majesty King Moswati III of Eswatini, Her Majesty Queen Anne Marie of Greece, their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Pavlos and Crown Princess Marie Chantal of Greece, their Imperial Highnesses Crown Prince Akishino and Crown Princess Kiko of Japan, their Majesties King Abdullah II and Queen Rania of Jordan, His Highness Crown Prince Sheikh Masal Al Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah of Kuwait, King Letzi III and Queen Masenet of Lesotho, His Serene Highness Hereditary Prince Alos and Her Royal Highness Hereditary Princess Sophie of Liechtenstein, their Royal Highnesses Grand Duke Henri and Grand Duchess Maria Theresa of Luxembourg, King Teoheta, the Maori King, and Queen Te Atawai, their Majesties the King and Queen of Malaysia, their Serene Highnesses Prince Albert II and Princess Charlene of Monaco, Her Royal Highness Princess Lala Mariam of Morocco, their Majesties King Willem Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Haakon and Crown Princess Mette-Marit of Norway, His Royal Highness Crown Prince Saeed Thaiz bin Haytham Al Saeed of Oman, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the Emir of Qatar, Her Highness Sheikha Jawahir bint Hamad bin Suham Al Thani of Qatar, Her Majesty Margrethe, the Custodian of the Crown of Romania, and His Royal Highness Prince Radu of Romania, His Royal Highness Prince Turki bin Mohammed bin Fahad bin Abdul Aziz of Saudi Arabia, their Royal Highnesses Crown Prince Alexander and Crown Princess Catherine of Serbia, their Majesties King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia of Spain, His Majesty King Carl Gustaf of Sweden, and Her Royal Highness Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden, their Majesties King Rama X and Queen Sothita of Thailand, their Majesties King Topo VI and Queen Nanasupau of Tonga. Well, the television ratings for the coronation are in. According to the broadcaster's Audience Research Board, figures supplied by Overnight's rating system, over 20 million people in the United Kingdom alone watched the historic coronation, beating out Her Majesty the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations last year, which hit a high of 13 million for the Platinum Party at the Palace on BBC One. However, it should be noted that some UK television networks did not broadcast the coronation, such as Channel 4. Instead, Channel 4 decided to air the 2018 film Johnny English Strikes Again. And they lost. They only had 140,000 viewers. Oh, too bad. Anyway, I should also note that the ratings do not include those who watch the coronation in public venues, such as pubs or in outdoor parks. Also, the ratings do not include those who stream the event on services such as YouTube and the BBC iPlayer, which is the BBC's streaming platform. But globally, 2.5 billion people watched Their Majesty's coronation. Yay! That's awesome. So the coronation celebrations continue, and today there were street parties celebrating, well, the coronation. And this afternoon, their Royal Highnesses, the Prince and Princess of Wales, met with partygoers outside of Windsor Castle ahead of this evening's coronation concert. The concert will air live on BBC and features artists such as Katy Perry, Lionel Richie, and Andrea Bocelli, to name a few. Meanwhile, in Swindon, Her Royal Highness the Princess Royal and Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence attended a street party alongside hundreds of people celebrating, well, you guessed it, the coronation. According to the BBC, the princess spoke with the, quote, local people in the Wiltshire town before handing out commemorative tins of gifts to children, end quote. Meanwhile, in Luxembourg City, His Royal Highness Hereditary Grand Duke Guillaume of Luxembourg presented master's degrees and diplomas for the promotion of work in specialized crafts, held at the Grand Théâtre de la Ville de Luxembourg. Last evening in Sevilla, His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain, accompanied by Her Royal Highness Infanta Sofia of Spain, attended the final of the Campeonato de España Copa de Su Majestad el Rey de Fútbol 2022-2023 between Real Madrid Club de Fútbol and Club Atlético Osasuna, held at the Estadio Olímpico de la Cartuja de Sevilla. The winner of the Copa de Su Majestad el Rey was Real Madrid Club de Fútbol, 2-1. And finally, on Friday in Amsterdam, Their Majesties King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima of the Netherlands attended the May 5th Liberation Concert held on the Amstel in front of the Royal Theatre, Carré. The annual concert is held at the conclusion of the national celebration of the liberation of the Netherlands. And there you have it. Thank you all so much for joining me this evening, and I will be back tomorrow on Monday, May 8th with all the latest royal news. In fact, I'll be here for the rest of the week. Why? Well, because I want to deliver the royal news to you every single day. Every single day this week. Yes, I do. Plus, it's going to be a very busy week. On Tuesday, there will be a garden party at Buckingham Palace. Meanwhile, Her Majesty Queen Letizia of Spain will be in Croatia for 2 days, while Her Majesty Queen Mathilde of the Belgians will be in Vietnam. And there are tons of engagements from the members of the royal houses of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Jordan, and so much more. So with that, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you'd like to, hit that notification bell so you won't miss a thing. And with that being said, again, have a wonderful evening, everyone, and a wonderful week ahead. Okay, take care, everyone. I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.